Hello, hello, guys. How are you? Here we are again in our fifth live in English. Yay! So, guys, today we are going to talk about the existential emptiness, and it is actually a topic that uh, has a lot to do with me, and you'll see throughout the live because I'm gonna make a lot of questions about it. And we are here at Apex International Association of the Existential Program. The Existential Program is the purpose of life. And I am a volunteer here. And we would like to ask you guys not to believe in anything we say here, not to believe in anything you see here. Please have your own experiences, experiment, have your own observations, study the subject, have your own conclusions. We are all here talking about our self research about the topics, okay? And let's have our guests here, guys. First of all, let's have Ana Lugalotti.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Ana Lu, how are
Hi,
you?
everyone. I'm glad to be here again.
Our fifth live, huh?
Yes.
That's so exciting. All right, let's have Larissa Imperico.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Larissa. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to be here again with you guys.
Thank you for being here, Larissa. And now, Marcelo Pires.
Hello, Ellen.
Hi,
Good.
how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing well. Good to be here again.
It's awesome to have you here, Marcelo. So, the first question that I would like to ask you guys is what does the existential emptiness, this feeling of void, have to do with our existential program?
Well, go ahead,
Go
Analu.
first. Go first. Go. Would you like me to
Okay.
go first?
Uh, I can talk. I think, Analu, go. I'm going to let you talk about this existential emptiness. I'm just going
Okay.
to make the link of it with the series of lives that we are having. Okay.
Okay.
So this is, as we said before, that's the fifth life that we got. So these lives, they are following the contents of topics that we are going deeper on the course that we are going to have on the 25th of July. Okay, on the 25th of July, we are going to have this course in English, the Existential Program course from Apex. And then on the 18th, we are going to have the version in Portuguese. But on the 17th of June, just recapping, okay, we talked about first thing that we are talking about existential program. So the first live, we were talking about the definition of the existential program. What is this is existential program? And then we are going, of course, we had a glance of that during the live, and then all these topics from the lives, we are going deeper on the course. On the 24th of June, we talked about the parapsychos as a transcendental way of view of life. And then this has everything connected, what we call the consciential paradigm, a different way to look under scientific focus about our evolution as consciousness and about the existential program itself and the purpose of our lives. Then, following it a little bit in the same line of the consciential paradigm, we talked about multiple existence, and then so we talked about birth, death, and the purpose of life. Then, the last week we talked about the pandemic. Okay, so this crisis that we have and how affect and the moment to reevaluate it. And of course, the pandemic gave a lot of opportunity of us to think about the life. And then today we talked about this emptiness that we have, okay, or we may have. So uh, this uncomfortable feeling that when we do not have something, that something is missing, okay? That there is a task that needs to be fulfilled. And then Analu can talk a little bit more deeper on that. So we are just coming from these 5 lives, okay, and then we're going to have the last one next week. But we are going through topics that will be covered on the different parts of the course, okay. And then today it's an opportunity to talk about existential emptiness, and then we leave the question: do you have or have you had this feeling about existential emptiness on your life before? Okay. And Analu, for you, what is existential emptiness?
Okay, so I had this feeling before, and it's not good. So basically, if we are going to define, we could say that existential emptiness is the inability to know what you think and want, to think and plan the future, and the lack of goals and absence of meaning. So if we divide this definition in 3 parts, we could understand a little bit more if we say about the inability to know what you think and want. And basically is when a person doesn't know how she feels, how she wants, and in this process, she wastes a lot of opportunities because, life is just passing by and she's just living every day. And also doesn't know how she feels from the point of view of person fulfillment. And this is bad because you don't know what you want. You don't know how you feel. So you keep living every day as the same. And Larissa will talk more about this because we have a concept for this. Okay. So the inability to think and plan the future. People under this condition cannot see themselves in the future. They are not able to visualize them in 2 or 5 years from now. Okay, so this is bad as well because if we don't have goals, it leads us of the lack of goals and absence of meaning. So it has become increasingly common, especially in psychological clinic, people reporting that they don't know what to do with their lives. They lack this meaning, these goals for life. And it's interesting because we are living in a moment where technology gives us a lot of opportunity to live well, with greater well-being, and somehow we are not living this way. So we have a pandemic of COVID-19, but we also have a pandemic of existential emptiness as well. And I think Larissa could tell us what are the indicators of this condition.
Thank you, Analu. Yes, I think the first one that is important to point out is the feeling that something is missing. So you're living your life, you're doing your normal tasks, your normal day-to-day things, and then you have this feeling that something is missing in your life. And this can lead to having no motivation or having, like Analu was saying, no expectations for the future, no satisfaction in what you do. And this is directly linked to what we briefly spoke last week, which is the robexis, or the existential robotization we spoke about. Just to briefly describe for those who didn't watch last week, is when you do the same things every day, day after day, like a robot. So you're living in the automatic mode. And this, like we call in conscientiology, the robexis. And this can also lead to having low or no energy on your day-to-day life as well, and no expectations, so no planning the future because your life is always the same. And I think the third thing that is important to comment is the sense of uselessness and a chronic boredom. So everything you do in your life seems pointless, and also you have a feeling like there is no place for you in this world. I think these are main things we can spoke about. And if you ever felt those things, these are red flags and strong indicators that you might have been experiencing the existential emptiness.
Yeah, if I may, I've said in the beginning that I went through that, and I had no reason. I had all the reasons to be a happy person, to feel fulfilled. I had money, I had a career, I had friends. 12 years ago, when my daughter was born, it was a happy day. A husband that loves me is my best friend in the world, and but still something was missing. Something was out of place. And I didn't know what it was. And until we got to a point where, and it made me like I was irritable. I was impatient all the time. I didn't have a lot of patience towards other people. And it got to a point where I actually was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. So now that, I feel better now. I am actually, I have different goals. And I understand now that that depression wasn't actually something physical, something biological. It wasn't, I had the chemical imbalance in my brain, but it wasn't caused by my brain. It was something else.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you for.
interesting.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to say that because it happened the same thing to me. There was a time in my life where I was feeling pretty much like this, and I was also diagnosed with depression. And that diagnosis made me rethink all of my life, and make a new choices like change my job and relationship and so on. And I think it's important to mention that this condition could lead to depression. It's very serious because there is a time when you have consequences of it, and despair is one of the consequences. In despair, we have the sense of hopelessness, and hopeless is what leads us to depression. But it's important to mention that not all cases of depression are because of existential emptiness. We gotta, find help, because sometimes it's easier to say, oh, find your purpose. But sometimes we have a chemical problem, and I think we should say that because, people
Yeah.
are going to listen. And not all the diagnoses of depression are related to existential emptiness, but existential emptiness could lead to depression.
Yes, that's an awesome point. That's very
Thank
important.
you. Thank you very much, Ellen and Analu, for sharing your experiences. I think all of us at some point, at least the ones that feel that they have something more to do in life, they felt this. And I was just thinking while you guys were speaking, and I think our intraphysical society is so ill that doesn't give us the tools to try and discover, to put the proper value. So the value in, for example, helping others. This is a value for most of us, at least the ones we are here. And then for society, it's just focus on money, on career, on other things. So I think that's one of the main reasons why we are in Conscientiology here volunteering, because we want to inspire people to go after their purpose of life, to try and think in a different way, to try and think of ourselves as complex consciousness and not just a physical body in this world. So I think everything that we are bringing up here in these lives is so linked to what we are talking about. And the difference that Analu made is so important between depression and existential emptiness, because they are two different things. They can be experiencing together, but they are two different things. And conscientiology doesn't replace your counseling, and is just a different tool. So you should seek help if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling this. Like, you should find as many tools as you can to try and have a fulfilled life.
Yes, especially because even, I said before that it wasn't something that it was related to. The existential emptiness, but also we have actually a predisposition for it. So those things go together in this case, right? In the case of the existential emptiness. Um, we have some friends already saying hello. Gabriela
Hi.
Diaz says, hello, good evening. Lionel Loshi, hi, I wish you a great live. Carlos Cardoso is here tonight. That's
Hello.
awesome. Hi,
Hey,
Carlos.
Carlos.
And he has a question, a very good one, actually. In your opinion, what can lead young people to have an existential emptiness?
Who
Well,
want to start? Analu, you start?
yeah, it
Or?
can be me. So we have a lot of reasons. It's hard to say, but Larissa mentioned the society we live in because we are educated to compete with others to reach success in our careers, and sometimes we are not taught how to be happy and make part of something important, help our community. So our young people, they are not taught how to be part of something greater sometimes, and this could lead to just drinking too much, try to be accepted in determined group. We have the problem with Instagram and Facebook where you change yourself. You are every day you are compelled to do what others think it's good, and sometimes you are doing things you don't even like. We have also people who spend a lot of time playing online games, and I can say that for myself because I used to be an online a gamer. So we have a lot of things, and this is not good because when this happens, they don't have the opportunity to develop their virtues, their character strengths, things they are good at, and at some point, they are going to miss these things, but they don't know why. They don't know why this is happening because they weren't taught about this before. I don't know if anyone wants to add something.
Yeah, as Ana Lu said, I think there is a disconnection between the person's values and the values of society. And what happens with young people, because there are so many things around them and things stimulating them to buy things, to do this, do that, to be this way, that they just get lost. So I think the lack of self-research as well, so not knowing yourself, not knowing what makes you happy, not knowing your purpose of life, and not being around with people that speak about those things can lead you to try and escape from this feeling, from this lack, from this void inside of you. So I think that's unfortunately what's happening today. So we have, and also the media, the news, also showing so many bad things, tragedy around the world. Like we have so many good things going on. We have volunteering around, and you cannot, I'm not speaking just about conscientiology. You have so many types of volunteering that are so many people helping others around, but they are not stimulated to do that. And that's why I think it's important to do self-research and try not to go to live a life in Robexes, as we were saying. So try and empower your life. So be the leader of your life. I don't know if
Yeah,
Marcelo wants to say something.
just to add a small detail, I think that it's important to, from time to time, disconnect to reconnect. Okay, it's
Good
important to
one.
Good.
disconnect from the, yeah, it's important to disconnect from the medias to reconnect with yourself. You need to reserve some time to do this kind of exercises. And these events that we're going to have on the course, that's one opportunity, okay, that you disconnect from the social media, and then you can reserve some time as we go through the different definitions, questions, and try to reconnect with yourself and thinking about, okay, why I'm feeling this existential emptiness? What's bothering on me? Because it's very easy, as Nalu and Larissa said, going to the lock of control, external lock of control. Okay, to look for what the society, what's the media presents to you, and then there is that moment that you should reserve to yourself to reflect and ask you, okay, what are my innate ideas? Okay, what are the things that motivate me? Okay, and then with this, trying to search and research what could be your purpose of life, because the purpose of life it is exactly where you're going to one option to get out of this existential emptiness.
Yeah.
Marcel, I just remembered something, because sometimes when we ask someone, what are you good at? And a lot of people can't answer this question. So I think it's a good way to start, because what you're good at is something that you can use to help people and to help yourself. And so it's a way to start making difference.
Yes,
and if
and
you
to find
answer
what
video
makes you
games,
happy.
and if you answer video games, don't get satisfied with yourself. Okay, you can go beyond that.
Probably there are more things that they are not seeing.
But behind the Xbox control, there are a lot of abilities, you know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
communication, leadership, and
Strategy.
all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting what you guys were saying. It reminded me of my previous job. I worked with kids for almost 4 years, and of all ages, from not all, from 6 to 18. And we can see a different behavior and different reaction on them, like from 5, 6, 7 to 8 years old. It seems to me that they are not under a lot of pressure. They don't have that need to fit in so much with what's common in society. They are more open. They are more open to receive other people, new kids. They want to gather. They want to show them around and make them feel welcome. And then there is this time in life where from 9 to the preteen age, where they start changing. They start to get more introspective, and they suffer a lot more pressure from parents, from their peers, from school. And then in the teenage years, that's when sometimes it can actually go downhill. If you don't have a good upbringing, if you don't have a good guidance from teachers, from your family, to do exactly what you're saying, to know better who you are, to actually get in contact with your potential, with your good traits, your talents, right? We have more people, guys. Ooh, we are packed. I'm kidding.
Helen, before you ask those questions from our viewers, I think it's good to mention that in our course we are going to explain a few concepts that have a lot to do with the things you were saying now, like consciential basement. It's consciential basement. What is the name in English, Marcel?
Yes, consciential basement.
Consciential basement, okay. So consciential basement, and we are going to talk about techniques that young people could use to go through this phase that it's not easy and full with a lot of expectations. That is the Invexis technique, okay. So please attend to our course. You'll learn all of it, and it's going to be great.
So parents and young people alike can benefit from the course.
Of course.
I'll be there. Yes, as I said, I have a 12-year-old, and she's changing already. And I have to change along with her to understand her and to be able to actually help her. So André Chakaloffi is here with us. He says, hi, everyone. Pietra is here. Hello, guys. Thanks for this live. Eliane Galotti says, congratulations for this topic. I've already signed up for the course.
Great.
André Chakaloffi says, how to take advantage of the existential emptiness to find the meaning of life.
Okay, so we have a saying in Apex. It's make a problem an opportunity of improvement, okay? Every problem, that's an opportunity, okay? So the existential emptiness, that's a symptom, okay? So something is not fulfilled, okay? You have some kind of deviation here. So you need to leverage, to use this crisis to drive in direction of the reorganization, repurpose of your life, okay? So I would say that's the key idea. It's really use every crisis that you have as a learning opportunity. Ana
And
Lu,
Marcel,
Larissa?
I think it's great this question that Shatalov made, because when we go through this condition, we have the opportunity to help others that are living under the same condition. So we are good examples. Um, we are not saying something just because we read. We had that feeling before, so we know how that feels. And I think this is important because a person living like this, sometimes she thinks there's something wrong with her and no one can help. And once you say, oh, I've lived through this before and I stopped to reflect and I made some changes, I set some goals, and I tried to find what I'm good at and it helped. Okay, so it can help you as well. So I think this is a good example how we can use this condition to make a change. So when we read or when we hear about cases that feels like this, we could use to help people.
Yeah, I think as you both were saying, that's a red flag. That's an indicator that something's not right. And you should not get used to the existential emptiness. You shouldn't be feeling this way. So if you're feeling this way, make a change in your life, try and do something different, change your routine, change your habits, study something new, go help people. And you need to make this into action. So my tip for you is don't get used to it and try and find your purpose of life. Of course, by attending our course on Sunday.
Now, and I was thinking here that the great challenge is to identify you are living in a condition like this, because sometimes we don't know. We don't know we need help. We don't know we are living like this because, it sounds like normal. We always heard that we are meant to grow up, to study, to work a lot. So, maybe life is like this.
Yeah.
So it's good to reflect of your life and think, do I feel fulfilled or not? Do I have that sense of stagnation, like I'm stuck in my own life? Because if you feel like this, it's an indicator that you are living under this condition. There are other ways to cope with that are not healthy. So one of the ways could be destructive activities. So aggressiveness, violence. You start to making people around you suffer. Destructive activities could include different kinds of addiction, sex, buying stuff online, games, watching Netflix all the weekend, and so on. So we start to think how you're living through the days, because they are good indicators. Subjugation is one indicator as well. Sometimes you don't feel motivated to do the things in your life, and when you see, you will start living by under the demands of other people. So you have no will at all. You're just doing what you're told to. So I think this is the challenge, to understand how are you doing with your life, and then you change your game.
That's very good what you guys just said. Of course, I mean, in my case, I can give you the example of, I think that in my opinion, when I think about myself, I understand that I reach rock bottom, and I didn't like it. So I needed to change. But people don't have to go through that. They don't have to wait until they get to rock bottom to change. They can actually create their own crisis and make those crises a stepping stone to get better and better and better, right? And that's what conscientiology is all about. We research ourselves, then we understand more and more how we operate, and then we can actually overcome uh, anything that's creating any obstacle in our lives, and then we get better. I mean, am I right? Do you guys agree with it?
Yes, totally. Totally, Ali. I think, and conscientiology is a tool, just to make that clear. It's not, that's why we are different from religion or any philosophy. You can be happy outside of it, you can have your life outside of it. This is a tool to help you understand yourself, to help you evolve quicker, to help you find your purpose of life, to help you understand the other dimensions and bodies you have. So you're not only a body, like a human body, as we were saying. So yeah, I think you're totally right, Ellen. It's a very good tool for us and
Yeah.
to know ourselves and try to avoid going to the limit. So going to the limit of the existential emptiness, depression, or whatever might be, because I'm not sure if Analu is going to speak about, but the opposite of it is when you're motivated, you're happy, you're doing your purpose, you're engaged, you're doing everything, and then you know the feeling. So if you're feeling happy and if you're feeling that you're doing your purpose, you have no doubts that you are. So it's the
Yeah.
totally opposite.
It's interesting because Viktor Frankl used to say that despair is suffering without the meaning. Because when you have meaning, things we go through, it's very easy to overcome because these meaning are going to help us.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what psychologists and psychiatrists all also say that when you are having a depression, you're going through depression, you don't have a hope. And if you are always reinventing yourself by self research, you're giving yourself hope. You're giving yourself second chances. It's like,
Of course.
so, okay, so Liane Loshi has an excellent question. What are the extra physical effects of existential emptiness? Love that question. I love it.
I love it.
I actually even thought about asking today, remember?
Who
Loshi,
wants to start? Who wants
we're
to start?
connected.
I, I, I can start, Larissa. Loshe, as we are saying here, we study this subject here under consciential paradigm. So we consider multiple dimensions, multiple bodies, bioenergy, cosmoetics, and so on. So as we are saying here, the extraphysical effects of existential emptiness, it's exactly for the newcomers, okay? That's the effects that we have linked to that dimension that goes beyond the physical dimension, okay, or spiritual world. So what will happen is the moment that we have this state of existential emptiness, we have what you call it our toxins, or the set of thoughts, sentiments, and energies. They are going to be in a pattern that it's not healthy, pathological. So this kind of sense of hopeless, you uh, get closer to you extra-physical consciousness that you call it conscience. So are people that do not have a physical body, that you get closer to you because they have affinity to that toxicity that we are showing. So this is an effect that's really a negative effect, but because as you get more depressed, more anxious, you're going to have extra physical consciousness that are also depressed nearby you, kind of uh, increasing or the power or of the feeling that you have. So it's really important to understand that everything that we think, that we feel, that we place energy, it has a consequence, not around us. That's not something that stays only inside our head, but has a consequence around the intraphysical and extraphysical dimensions that we have around us. So we interact with it, we are going to gather to us more healthy or more sick, ill consciousness, extraphysical, intraphysical coming nearby us. Ana Lu, Larissa?
And I think it causes the extra physical intrusion that we say and we live, and sometimes we're not even aware to this. But when we have these scenes, as Marcelo was saying, and we get open to all these interference of this extra physical consciousness, and sometimes we start to think bad of ourselves, like I have no use, I'm useless, I'm not good in anything, I can't do this, I can't do that. And all of these could be consequence of this extra physical intrusion we are saying. And it's hard to live this condition because sometimes we think and we understand that that is true, because if I'm thinking, that must be true. And our thoughts are not facts. But when we are under this condition of extra physical intrusion, it's hard to understand. So this is why the energetic maneuver is so important, because this is how we can make this, this cleaning, this, how do I say, the cleaning up our energies, to balance our energy, to find a balance in our energies. So I guess that's the most important thing to know, because once we do this, we are able to understand what belongs to me and what belongs to those companies that are around us. But it's important to say that they are not bad. They also need help. Okay, so if we somehow have some kind of affinity with them, they are suffering because their thoughts as well. And so by our example, we could help them.
It's I'm. If you guys allow me, I'd like to say something about it, and that's based on my own experience. And as we said before, guys, don't believe anything we're saying here. Ask yourselves a question. This question: how do you feel? If you're feeling the existential emptiness and it's leading you to depression or anxiety or something like that, what kind of person, intraphysical person, are you attracting to yourself? What kind of people are surrounding you right now? And that's exactly what happens with the extra physical too, right? It's like the extra physical consciousness that will be attracted to you. They are vibrating the same level. They are feeling similar things. And it got to a point where, I mean, my husband and I, we were a little bit isolated here. And it got to a point where I actually had physical symptoms and got sick. And one thing that comes to my mind, besides the maneuvering of energy, is also the personal energy task, the Penta. And there's an excellent book, the Penta Manual by Dr. Valdo Vieira. We'll put that book in the description below. It's, I read that book several times already, and it helped me a lot understand that extra physical aspect of either negative mindset or vicinity, and positive as well. And we can choose that.
Yeah, I think to remember that every intrusion starts with self-intrusion. So like it started with you, so you gave the space. So in religion and in other things, we see many people afraid of bad spirits, let's put this way. But then in reality, your sin is the best weapon you have against those things, because then you're healthy. You don't think bad things about yourself. You're not a victim in a way of feeling the victim 24 hours per day. If you're not feeling well, you should seek help. This is a different thing. But like if you're feeling a victim all the time, you attract consciousness that feel the same. So if you want to become a helper or be near the helper, you should be helping others. So that's why we say it's always good. The best thing you can do is go to do something for other people, even if it's a simple thing. It makes a huge difference.
Larissa, I would like to ask you a question based on what you just said. Do you think that the existential emptiness is a common symptom, is a common feeling amongst the intermissivists, the people that actually had the intermissive course?
I think if they are not engaged with the evolutive group, I'm not sure if I have the right wording here. Marcelo, help me. Because if you are engaged on your purpose of life and with the group, a group that have the same values as you have, and they are helping others to evolve as well, or helping others in general, I think is unlikely you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel the existential emptiness. It's not impossible, because we never know, we cannot say, but it's very unlikely, I would say. And then because of the problems we spoke about in this live, the problems of society, the values of society, the media, and everything, that people get lost in the way. And then they feel there's no place for them in this world. They feel like aliens. I've heard this so many times, from young people. I'm an alien, nobody's like me. But then because they don't change the surroundings, so they don't try and find people that do different things, that help others, they think different ideas. So they have this feeling, and it's genuine, that they are aliens. There's no place for them.
We feel out of place.
But I was thinking about something. Sometimes we could be helping others, but yet we could not be on the path of our existential program. Yeah. So yes, we could be helping others and still be feeling some kind of emptiness. So in our cases, when we are speaking about intermissivists, I guess that when we feel the existential emptiness, it's an indicator that we are not on the path of our praxis.
I'm gonna speak more in the course about the subject.
Yeah, I guess the course will help people like me understand better how to identify, right? What's missing? Why do I feel like this if I am actually doing something good?
Yeah.
So what should I be doing more? What am I missing? Right? All right, guys. So it's already time for us to finish.
As always.
I know. We need to create another course to do the
it
more
feels
live.
Like we just started, and
I know.
And the next week is going to be our last live. Unbelievable.
Already, yeah.
All right. I would like to ask you guys, give us your last thoughts about this, and so we can wrap up. Nanalu.
I'm thinking here, well, this last conversation about helping others and still feeling emptiness has made me think a lot of things, and it's too bad we don't have time to discuss about it. But, we have this great opportunity, and I hope you all take advantage of this, participate from our course, because as we said, this feeling of existential emptiness is the opposite of the purpose of life. So if you are feeling any of those things we said here, it's a good way to start by thinking, by taking a time to yourself to think about what you're doing and reflecting about what we are going to say, and maybe make some changes, because there's always time to do this, no matter if you are 20 years old or 60 years old. So there's always time to start doing something, especially because we saw that in our consciential paradigm, this is not going to be our last life. So we always are going to have much more lives ahead of us, to improve, to evolve.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Analu. Larissa,
No,
go ahead.
just to say thank you, guys. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for being here. I hope the live today make you guys think about some of the things we said, helped in a way, and we'll be more than happy to see you again next week and in our course. That's it. Thank you very much.
Marcelo.
Yeah, just say goodbye to everybody, okay? I think that this topic about existential emptiness, that's something very common for lots of people. I wouldn't be an exception for that. But it's, as we said, that's something that we could go hours talking about it, and then just thank you everybody to be with us, and then reinforce the invitation for the course on the 25th.
Okay, guys, so I'd like to invite you all to our next live. We are actually going to be talking about ways to overcome all this that we talked about today, right? The existential balance. And actually, we even have a course in Apex called Existential Balance. And that's what made the whole total difference to me when I participated in that course. So it's a very advanced topic. You guys are going to actually have a hint on how to overcome the existential emptiness, if you have any, and also how to, the existential balance gives you the opportunity as well to plan ahead. And like we said before, all those crises and those existential crises that we might have, we can actually take advantage of those and plan ahead and complete our existential program, right? So I'll see you guys next week. Be safe. And thank you guys for having me again. I feel very humble and very privileged to be here. Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye-bye.